Welcome to Who Knew. We are fans of the current series of Doctor Who, and here we discuss our likes, dislikes, and insights into the modern regeneration of the show. Subscribe, review, and listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WhoKnewPodcast. All our episodes are on whoknewpodcast.com. You can leave comments there or email us at whoknewpodcast@gmail.com. We also have an Instagram and Twitter account. Tweet at us at whoknewpodcast. Find us on Facebook. Today we're taking a quick trip in the Tardis with Classic Who.
Today it's Who Classic.
Today's episode is The Time Meddler. It's the 9th and final serial of Season 2 of Doctor Who. Barbara and Ian have just left. Vicki is with the Doctor, and it introduces to us Stephen Taylor as the new companion. The Doctor visits the most important moment in English history and meets the monk trying to stop it. These episodes are written by Dennis Spooner. It's directed by Douglas Camfield. It originally aired from the 3rd through the 24th of July 1965, and part 1, which was entitled The Watcher, was viewed by 8.9 million viewers. Hi, this is Eugene. Let's introduce ourselves.
Hi, Josh here.
Hi, this is Brian.
Hello, this is Auburn.
And today we have John. John, say hi.
Hello, everyone. How is it going?
Welcome back. It's going great. John, tell us a little bit about Vicki and Steven, since this is the first time our podcast is doing them, and you guys did them 9 years ago.
Oh, I was going to mention, this is the first time I've watched Time Meddler in 9 years. But yeah.
Wow.
We reviewed it. It was episode, I think, 49.
It was hard to find, but
yeah.
I found it.
Great. Yeah, we had some changeover with our servers and lost some stuff, but I'm glad you were able to find it and listen to it, ?
Yes.
Okay, it's great. It's still up.
Yes. In the beginning, you talk about the transition from Moffat to Chibnall.
Whoa. Oh boy. Wow.
Gosh.
So that was a while ago. But yeah, so like you said, Steven is very new. We just met him in the last serial, which was called The Chase, and spoiler alert, you should go check that out because that is a really great story as well in your journey when you get there. He's from the 23rd century, so that's the 2200s, I believe. Something like that. He was a pilot. Oh, and he is from Earth. He was a pilot, and he was captured by the mechanoids who we meet in The Chase. And he spent 2 years there as a prisoner. In basically, it would almost look like a chimpanzee enclosure. They were like, "This is what he'll like," and they gave him like a swing set, and he had like a doll or something that they gave him. He basically was like,
Yeah, he had like a panda doll when he came in.
Yes, the panda doll.
Funny from the 23rd century, but he has a panda doll.
I think that was
because you know how prolific the pandas are nowadays.
Well, they got something right then.
I guess so.
We did something right.
Yeah. And he obviously stows away on the TARDIS, and everyone thinks that, but everyone thinks that he's dead. Like, he doesn't make it, is what they think, and he obviously stows away. As you can see in the Time Meddler, he's super impatient. Because he's just been locked up for 2 years, and he just wants to get up and go and do a bunch of stuff. But he's also pretty loyal, and going further on, he is a natural leader, which sometimes gets in the way of he and the Doctor's relationship. They do a lot of one-upsmanship throughout, or try to. And then with Vicky's been around for a little bit. She first appeared in The Rescue. She's from the 25th century, so she's a little further ahead of time than Steven is. She describes herself as a plucky orphan. She's pretty intelligent and knowledgeable on a lot of subjects. She's also willing to do whatever it takes to save someone, which sometimes puts her in danger, but sometimes it works out. And again, watch The Chase. It's great. That's where you find out. She mentions it here. She is super terrified of heights. Super terrified. It's briefly mentioned in, I think, The Watcher. But, just a spoiler, she's lowered they have to escape from a great height, and the only way they can do it is with this rope that they have to lower everyone down one by one, and it's 1,500 feet. So they have to be tied to a rope. It's she does not have a great time with that, but that's kind of where we're at with Vicky and Steven.
The other thing I want to mention with Vicky, well, thank you first of all for
Yeah.
summing all of that up. I knew you would because you've watched more than when I have and we have.
Yeah.
I haven't
But
seen them before.
yeah, see, that's why. And so Vicky came on the Team Tardis, if you will, and she got to know Ian and Barbara because Susan left in Dalek Invasion of Earth, and
Yes.
she was orphaned in a like a spaceship crashed, or her spaceship crashed, and she was orphaned, and the Doctor, missing Susan, felt some sort of pull toward her, so that's why she was invited onto the team.
Yeah, it's from, I think, The Rescue is the name of the serial. I looked at it and I have no recollection of watching that, so I don't think we have gotten to it on Podcastica yet, but
Ooh,
yeah.
maybe it's a crossover collaboration we could do.
Ooh, maybe.
That's 25th century me's problem.
Yes, yes.
I do have to say, in this serial, I thought they were both modern. You know, I thought that neither one of them really came off as futuristic. I mean, especially with the pocket watch or with the wristwatch.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, so it is a little surprising going, wow, they're not from the future, which is what I want in modern Who. It's like, give us somebody who isn't from contemporary.
Yeah,
Earth.
that's interesting that the classic Who has many more companions from different time eras. But modern Who is just like, it's just people from our whatever season we're watching.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten historical people, right? Like they would go from all
Nope.
in the classic Who.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they don't do that because, I mean, I feel like a lot of people hold the classic Who companions like close to their heart, and it's like, well, why wouldn't we do that now? I mean, there's a lot of different people from different eras, as you guys said, and now it's just like, what year is it? That's where they're from. It's fine.
I think it's probably, if it's not a producer's note, it's either
the
way.
BBC.
It's we need the companion is the bridge to the audience.
Yeah.
So that's probably
And a young woman.
Yes. Yes.
Or an older man.
Well, okay.
So, since we were talking about the chase, this episode suffered because of it, because I was reading that all the budget went into the chase. And so they did this one on even less than their shoestring budget.
I will have some information about that.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
No, it's. I'm glad you bring it up because I was impressed with what their budget. But I'll save it for the end.
Okay.
I don't want to tell you that now. I want to. Yeah.
But you leave the British history to me.
So I don't think I mentioned this, but this is an adventure with the first Doctor, William Hartnell. Vicky is played by Maureen O'Brien, and Stephen Taylor is played by Peter Purvis, who I'll mention later has another connection with Doctor Who in sort of a historical way. This is the first time that a Doctor Who story combines a historical story with future sci-fi, meaning the two companions and some other like anachronistic things that we'll find as we go through. So they've always just been in the future or in the past or the present. They've never combined the two or three, whatever you want to call it.
And wasn't this around the point where they really started to realize that nobody liked the history episodes?
That I don't know.
Because I read a lot on this one, just because, forgive me, I could only watch it twice. I couldn't watch it again. It's really good, but it's long. Where the ratings did seem to start to, whenever somebody realized it was a history episode, there really was a drop off for the rest of the episodes. So that's why then they stopped doing them.
That's surprising.
Well, early Doctor Who, since it was a kid's show, they wanted the future fantasy, and then they wanted the history in order to, like, we're going to teach kids things, which kind of justified the show itself. And there's very, very few of us who like history. So, because I have to say, when they clicked in, I was like, when the first time we watched this, I'm like, I think it's 1066. And Frank was like, how do you know that? I'm like, they said Harold. Come on, they said Harold.
This is also the last story that Verity Lambert produced before she left the show.
Oh,
no. God, She didn't stay long. I thought she stayed a lot longer.
Are you serious? This is what, the second season, so that's a lifetime in the UK.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. She should be on to her next 4 shows by then. I've done 6. I'm done.
I
All right.
will say, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead and you can put it later or whatever, but I find William Hartnell to be much more relaxed and in the moment in this episode than I did in the earlier season 1 episodes. I mean, it makes sense,
Mhm.
as you get more comfortable with the character and then just the show in general. But I feel like this flows a lot better than those early season 1 episodes.
You can still see him stumbling over the lines, but you're right. He's more comfortable with his stumblings over the line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. Like, he covers well.
He
Like,
covers well.
He did
And I think
something,
also
and
everybody knows now in the
Yeah.
production.
Yeah.
So like, okay, now this is how we handle it.
there were no awkward pauses. He just seemed to
Mm.
stumble. And then part of me was like, was that on purpose? Or like it just seemed like natural. So and they just kind of kept moving. And it was nice. It kind of made you feel like he was a real person, not like an actor playing a part.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I agree. The Doctor and Vicki are missing Ian and Barbara, who recently left the Tardis. They hear a crash from the living quarters. A dazed and nearly unconscious man collapses into the control room. It's Stephen, who they met on their last adventure. He stumbled into the TARDIS by accident and has no idea it's a time and space machine. The Doctor is not pleased to have an unexpected guest. The TARDIS materializes on a rocky coast and is observed by a monk who comments, "I wonder." The Doctor, Vicki, and Stephen split up to explore the area, and the monk examines the TARDIS. He seems to know what it is. He returns to his monastery, and the nightly chants of the monks begin.
They hooked me. The moment the monk says, "I wonder," it was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole, like, through the first 2 episodes, I'm like, up with this guy.
Yeah.
And then
it's-
when I know I'm
Oh, go
jumping ahead again, I'm sorry, but like when he looks at his watch that he hadn't that that he
Yes.
wasn't wearing on the wrong wrist, if I'm not mistaken. I was like, oh wait, what? Okay, what? Like in a good way. It just kept me wanting to know. Like, I stuff with the Doctor and the other people. I'm like, yeah. What's up with this guy?
Yeah, there is something about that guy. And on first glance, when I watched this like years ago, I thought he was the second Doctor before he got casted. Patrick
Troughton.
Yeah, because he's the black and white quality and the hair and the sometimes out of focus things. It just made me think that that's him, because the show has a history of taking actors that have done other roles and making them the Doctor.
Right.
Yeah, he
But-
he does look like him. In fact, there was right from the get-go, there was something very familiar I found about him. And I think that was it.
I think his acting was great.
Yes.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I just it's like, wow, this is a kid's show in 66. And we've all seen it, but this guy is really like, I want to say committed, but he's not like doing it in a Shakespearean way. He's doing it in a very casual way. He is the monk, it's just, I was really impressed with his acting more so than any other guest star in an early Doctor Who.
Yeah, the first time watching this, it was late at night, so I was falling asleep a little bit, but I actually caught more of it than I realized watching it again, because the monk was so good. And in later scenes, he doesn't explain anything, but he's revealed so well. I thought I had missed something. Like, there has to be like a good scene where the Doctor and him discuss like their history, but I don't think there is. And that's a testament to how good that character inhabits this ancient time, and being he's a Time Lord, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
Yes.
yeah.
Before they were called that.
Yes.
Yes. I see.
This-
Okay, good.
The first instance, besides Susan, of another Time Lord before they were called Time Lords. Yes.
Okay.
Now, did
And
they
so-
just like? I was a little drowsy towards the end too, but like, and I rewound it a couple times, but I kept trying to find when they talk about, like, there's not an actual point where they talk about that though, is there?
Just
Yes.
about their TARDISes.
Yeah, that's the closest.
Well, he in in one episode, I think it might be episode 4.
Yeah, I don't.
They say is he where you're from? And he
Yes,
says,
yes.
I
Steven
believe
does that.
Yeah, he says, yes, I believe he is. And I mean, yeah, it's pretty confirmed with his Tardis as well.
But
Mhm.
that's
also
it.
love-
Like they never say,
No,
they
that's
never
it.
like talk to each other about
Mhm.
that,
Home or anything. No.
which
That's
I
correct.
find a little odd.
I'm sure they were doing it just one because they really didn't think of it, but it was also nice they left things open-ended for future episodes because they really did leave. You read this, you watch this now and go, yeah, I could see there being another renegade Time Lord who's
Sure, yeah, it was
messing with
cool.
history.
For a moment, I thought he might have been the master.
That's a
I'm not
lot
sure.
of
That's-
fan
Which is-
theories.
Is also it's crazy because he does mention the master plan that he has, which is like, oh, maybe he is. Yeah, that's been a theory for a little bit too. But this is like for me as good as it gets with Classic Who, just setup wise. Yeah, there's a lot of history stuff going on. That's all great, but to watch the Doctor not do like, oh, we're in 10. Oh, this is an audio podcast. Sorry. I licked my fingers and put them up in the air. Sorry. As to, that's how the Doctor somehow determines what year it is.
Mhm.
But I do love the scene with the Doctor and the woman in the camp.
Ethel?
Yes.
Edith.
Sorry.
And we talk about how the Doctor, William Hartnell, seems to be fumbling over stuff. But I think that in that scene, he does a lot of fumbling, but it also adds to the him trying to figure out where and when we are right now. Like he has an idea of where we are, but he doesn't know when. And I think that's a really great scene. And you guys are right about the monk. It's like immediately when he looks at the watch, you're like, and it's not there. He's like, what? Like, huh? And then I love that we hear the chanting, and then I think we do a great thing with the camera where I think we go to the Doctor's feet and the record wobbles and he stands up and goes, oh, well, yes, I must be going. And just leaves because he knows like something is up. And, he finds out it's a record, which is great. So, yeah, this is a great opening episode for a classic story.
For sure.
And that the actor played the monk. Like at first, I was like, oh, and I know it's funny because I think the title of the second episode or whatever, but before you know what his deal is at all, and he sees the TARDIS and also, oh no, this meddling monk is gonna muck everything up. It's gonna be one of those like, you're the devil sort of things, and I'm just like, this guy, I'm not gonna like this guy.
It kind of reminded me. This is super geeky. I apologize, but I have to say it. It reminded me. There's a famous quote, or I don't know where it's from, Shakespeare maybe, but where it has the King Henry of the II of England, and he's talking about his archbishop who he's in a battle with, and he's like, "Will someone rid me of this meddlesome priest?" And so I just envision the Doctor. Will someone rid me of this meddlesome monk?
Is it the Archbishop of Canterbury?
Yeah, Thomas Becket.
Yeah. I don't know what that's from. I just looked it up.
Same.
Yeah, but it's kind of a famous thing because then somebody kills Becket, and Henry's like, I never told anybody to do it. I didn't order it. I was just saying.
I must admit, the pedantic nerd in me, at one point was just like, well, really, they now know that the Vikings didn't have horned helmets like that.
Yeah, me too.
Right, Brian?
Yes, that's exactly. I thought the same thing. And I was like, oh, cute.
It's probably not Vikings. It's opera singers.
Oh, look at it's anachronistic. Oh, and then look at that. They have them drinking out of a horn.
Right.
Yeah. It looked like a glass horn. Like it looked very fragile.
Yeah.
They told her, now when you pour this in, don't drop it because this is our only one, and it's very fragile. We have to return it after the shoot.
The William Hartnell was like, this is from my personal collection. I will treat it very gently.
Right. I did think the woman who played Edith was a good actress.
Yes.
There's a stylistic vibe that this time usually has that's overly heightened, but I felt like she owned her space on screen, and also the man who played her husband, the older fella. He was a little more awkward here and there, but he had a lot more to do. But I felt she really owned her space. And again, like you watch these old shows, not just Doctor Who, but shows of the time, and they just feel so stagey and awkward, but which This does, but not to the degree. Like it really felt like very cohesive, everyone and everything. Even the awkward choreography, which I bet falls into what you were saying, Eugene, about the budget and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like everybody knew what they were doing. Nothing felt like that it was going wrong, but they just had to shoot it anyway.
Yeah.
It
And
felt
going
like
back,
a play to me. It was like, yeah,
Mm.
their hut
Yeah.
area, which
Yeah.
I suppose is supposed to be the beginning of a tiny village, but it's such a 5x5
Yeah.
stage. It's like,
Felt
okay, well, they're
every-
on a play. They're just coming stage right, because the rest of it was working.
I feel like they got beyond some of the theatrical play feeling, like that I remember feeling more with the ones that we saw with Susan, where it really felt like a one act or a play that was staged on one like stage with the camera just moving around following people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was direction or like the acting, but I agree with you guys that William Hartnell has gotten a lot better. And I think also the companions were playing things more realistically than what I remember Susan,
Mhm.
the actress that played Susan, doing things. So one weird thing though, watching it, from the 21st century, where they're portraying like 22nd and 23rd century people, is we're now almost 60 years past this, and trying to interpret what is medieval, what is like their version of medieval, and what is their version of the future. Like the anachronisms were interesting with the monk, but it did take me a little bit to realize some of them, because I was like, wait a minute, this is 1066. They wouldn't have had like the cooking utensils in that way, but and again,
and
they
the
look
china,
like they're
serving the doctor
right,
food on a china.
but it's still old to me now today. So I'm like, well, that's dated to me, but it's even more dated to the 1066. So yeah, I did enjoy how well they played with it, and it's interesting looking back on it with today's eyes.
Auburn, that hurt. That really hurt.
Well, I mean,
You cut me deep on. Oh, that's so out of date.
well, you're not. How much? How many?
Hey, I had an Irish mother. We all everyone we knew had dishes like that.
Yeah.
And if Frank were here, he'd be saying the same thing. I've even seen his
grabbing them
dishes
and bringing
going,
them.
I think we
Yeah.
had the same thing.
I do think the monk, going to what you're saying, all the cutlery, he was pretty free with all that stuff in his house, if you want to call it that. Like it was just like if the wrong person was to walk into that room, the jig is up.
Yeah, but in the beginning, he does try very hard to not have anybody enter.
No, I know. And it was really cool. Like once it was funny because it shows him doing something with something modern, and then he goes to another thing and another thing and another thing and another thing. So I felt it was very well rounded. It wasn't just like they didn't have like one modern prop that explained who he was. The worst prop about the monk was how small his hood was when he put it on. Did you notice that? Expecting this like Jedi-like hood, he goes to put it on and it barely covered his head.
That feels right for.
That's what a Gallifreyan 50 years ahead of the Doctor thinks
Right.
a monk's hood would look like. I did also like that when the Doctor, when we were talking earlier about the Tardis and who they are. I do like the little rivalry of, well, his TARDIS is about 50 years ahead of mine. Well, I like my TARDIS, kind of an attitude. I thought that was really cool.
And then asking what model or what Mach his is, and he's like, "Oh, never mind, doesn't matter."
I think he says this might be a Mark IV, where the Doctor has a Type 40.
Yeah,
it's like, what's the difference? I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Brian, going back to your quote, it's "Will no one rid me of this turbulent priest?" And I think
there's like 3 versions.
But I think that one that I just quoted is attributed to King Henry II.
Yeah, they all are.
But I mean, not in a play, not in media.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah, I see what
real.
you're saying. It's not a Shakespeare thing, but
that's what I found.
There's what is it? There's turbulent,
troublesome, meddlesome,
and meddlesome. I just thought of the meddlesome because he's the meddling monk. So.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I found in my extensive research, meaning I Googled it in 2 seconds. So
back to the wardrobe a little bit and the time frames and stuff. So when they first exit the TARDIS and start walking around, both the companions are wearing capes. Now, are they trying to be period, or was that sort of a style of the time?
Just from my adventures in Classic Who, I could not tell you. I think this, at least from what I'm remembering, this feels like the only time that we all wore capes.
Yeah, it felt a little more natural on her, but he just looked like that episode of Seinfeld where they knew a guy who was oddly wearing a cape.
Larry David wearing
It
the
was
cape,
Larry
yeah.
David, yeah.
Well, I mean, you can attribute it to sci-fi in general because Star Trek and Star Wars both wear
That's
like
true.
flowy robes and capes
Yeah,
sometimes.
and because I didn't know until you were mentioning it earlier, like where Stephen came from. When he first showed up, I thought his attire was supposed to be like olden times looking. Like that was there. It didn't quite look that way because it was like well seamed and stuff. But that's because he had a beard, he had longer hair, his hair was messy, this, that, the other. And then when I saw him have the panda doll, I was just confused, and I was like, I don't know, I'll figure it out later, whatever. And then when he says, I've been on plenty of spaceships, I'm like, okay, so has this companion been around a while? What's going on? So, but I appreciated your explanation at the beginning. All right.
Thank you.
The doctor does call out cloaks too, because he says to Vicky, go get him some clothes and a cloak. And while you're at it, get my cloak too.
Oh, okay, very
So
good.
the cloaks were very important to the doctor.
Right. So it was just like everybody wears a cloak. Just like, looking on you every time a new person ends up in the TARDIS, you look good in a cloak. Let me well, no, I'm okay. No, here you go.
The doctor has been welcomed to a village by Edith, a local Saxon woman. The doctor figures out that they are in 1066, a month before the Battle of Hastings between Harold Godwinson and William the Conqueror. They are also near the landing site of the Viking Invasion that happened at the same time. Exploring inside the monastery, he finds a record player playing the recording of the chant. The monk then springs his trap and the doctor is captured. The next morning, the monk uses binoculars to search the oceans. He spots an approaching Viking ship and is thrilled. Stephen and Vicky find their way to the monastery, where they also discover the record player. Soon, the doctor and the monk discuss his diabolical scheme. He wants to destroy the incoming Vikings so Harold can head directly to fight and defeat William, thereby changing all of history. And we actually had this debate 30 years ago when I was in college. It's a doozy of a history period for England. I mean, it's huge.
I like how the monk isn't like a villain where he's trying to, like make something bad happen or really make like too much good happen. Like the titles of the episode states, meddling monk. He's just like this chaotic, kind of neutral. Like I think he convinces himself he wants to do good, but I think it's more just like, his casual anachronisms and like leaving stuff about. He's just like kind of chill and having fun and going through time, doing like almost like a Q level, like just trying to see what he can do, and not really worrying about repercussions. So I like that it's a different kind of villain. Today every villain has to like want to take over the world or destroy the doctor. Like this guy's just kind of having fun. Like,
yeah,
what he can do.
I mean, he's a villain in the sense that he believes 100% what he wants to do is going to better humanity, but he does not think of how that will change the entire course of history as it was. So that's kind of where I love a villain like that, that's like, I'm doing this to better this, and everyone's like, that's not a great idea, you shouldn't do that, and it's like, well, I'm going to do it anyway because I know it's the right way to go. So yeah, and the doctor's like, you can't do that.
But he does say he thinks Harold will be a better king than William.
Yes.
So, it's like he does think of the repercussions because he wants to make the repercussions good.
Yeah, I was waiting for more of a turn on him at the end, like a realization to, what the doctor would be saying. Unless I missed it when I was tired. But
no, there's never like a, you're right, doctor, I shouldn't be doing this, or more of a villainous kind of.
And it just kind of ended with him getting sent to his room and we're gone.
Yeah. There's no moment of, I've seen the error of my ways, doctor.
No. And I guess spoiler, he does not see the error of his ways.
Yep.
Well, he probably also doesn't have long to ponder it because the doctor stranded him in the middle of a Viking invasion.
Yeah.
And, a big battle that's about to happen.
Albeit, 4 Vikings, but yes.
That's just this landing party. It's just
Oh,
a
right.
scouting
Okay,
party.
very good, very good.
You know, that's you saw that stock footage stuff of the Viking ship
I
with
did.
all
That's,
the
I
with
was
all
gonna
the
ask.
slaves rowing.
That's what I was gonna ask Eugene about later. Was
Yes.
that
No,
that
ask
footage?
it now.
Yeah.
Since
So
we're
was that
here.
stock footage or was that shot for?
Yes.
Show?
So they got better at how they kind of just cover in the first seasons. They kind of just covered it as if it was a play, like we mentioned earlier. The cameras moved and they move kind of clunkily in the set and the stage, but then this one feels more refined, like we were talking about
Yeah.
William Hartnell's flubbings and how everybody is used to that, and the companions. So in this particular story, I noticed a couple improvements in productions, and they kind of confirmed it in the DVD extras, where there's shots of like the seagulls, the water, the Vikings, the ships, the rowing. Those were all, I guess, B-roll stock footage, and when they were live switching, directing, editing on the set. So they would shoot the live stuff on the stage and then cut to the stock footage and then have somebody do the audio underneath it. So that's why you never really heard anybody synced audio, like stroke, stroke,
Right.
stroke.
Well, he was
But
far
you
away.
heard the ocean, you heard the cawing of the seagull. So that was all live, and I was impressed by that.
Mm-hmm.
So this was still being broadcast live?
It was taped live. It wasn't I don't think it was broadcast live.
No, but it was such a low budget that they didn't have the film. Like
Yeah.
they never stopped unless they absolutely had to,
Yeah.
because they couldn't use
So it
that
was
much
just like a
film.
3-camera shoot or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even, you know, a 3-camera shooter where you can't stop to change scene. Well,
No,
you can
yeah.
change scenes, but you know, somebody flubs a line like William Hartnell, they
Just
don't
keep going,
cut
right.
and start
Well,
over.
I gotta say, filmmaking wise, unlike early, season 1 or whatever, even though I haven't seen all of season 1, I never really got taken out of it at any moment. The only thing, except for big, obvious things, but the biggest like thing that kind of like filmmaking time period that would grab me is how cramped everything felt.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't bother me because I felt like the set direction, the set production, my God, what is the word?
Set design.
Set design, production design.
Okay.
I knew there was some words in there because I felt like the production design was very
Damn
good.
it. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I felt the production design was very good, so it didn't really.
Brian disagrees with you like 100%.
You've thrown my world
Damn
in
it.
disarray.
But
But I
yeah.
will have one thing. What about that scene where the doctor is got the stick in the monk's back and they're walking into the other room and they go through the archway, but like 2 feet over it's completely open, completely. There's like the wall doesn't extend to the end of the camera.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are they going through the tiny archway when there's a big, and then they go back through it. It's just like, and even the doctor goes, this is like the second time we've been here and you still haven't noticed the big gap in the wall.
But to counter that with a praise is that when Steven and Vicky are on that cliff and it's an upshot and there's a projected sky, and I was like, wow, you guys are doing well with the limited budget you have here.
Yeah, they really did feel like they gave a height impression.
Yeah.
And the sound design when they're up on there, it makes it feel like you're outside too, which was nice.
Or the lack of music, because it's filmed live, so there's not really a soundtrack. If you notice, there's more like thumps, and I'm not counting the Gregorian like monk chanting.
Sure.
It's like thumping. There's not like when the doctor gets trapped, there's not like a sting to tell you, oh no, dun dun
Right.
dun.
Right.
So
Did you find out the reason why? Because I
budget.
read that.
I think it's budget.
Yeah, they cut the music out intentionally because money had gone to the chase.
Yeah.
So they had no money, so they're like, no music in this episode.
Interesting.
What was the first season? Was it like electronic organ-y type music?
More so of that,
Yeah.
because the theme is very avant-garde, if you will.
What year is this?
65.
This show's as old as Frank.
This is after Tomb of the Cybermen.
Before.
Before. Okay.
Before.
Okay.
A number of years before.
Okay. Because there's a lot of music in that.
Yes.
Trying to think, Susan. Yeah, we haven't watched much from them together.
Yeah. The bigger one that we did watch, Dalek Invasion of Earth, they had more money because they were shooting on location in London, and they took the production outside and things like that.
I did think when the monk, you see his POV looking down at the TARDIS, I did think, wow, that's a really complex shot for Doctor Who at this time. It's like they had to get that camera up high, and that must have been a pain. Or, it's something like it's a painting of the TARDIS that they just shot. I don't know how they did it. And it was quick enough. So it was like, well, that's effective. But you don't normally see such a, what do you want to say, radical angle.
Well, also, you don't see the top of the TARDIS like that a lot.
Right. Yeah. I wonder, it could have been the first time we ever saw the top of the TARDIS.
Could be.
Yeah, I was hoping to listen, because it's on YouTube, I was hoping to listen to it while walking, just to like refamiliarize myself with it. But yeah, I think visually, you need to be able to watch it, and that's good. I think the first season was much more like a radio play, where this, they were telling the story visually. You couldn't just listen, you had to be watching.
There's a lot of that. I wanted to actually mention that there's so much that gets told through visual storytelling, people walking around discovering things and their reactions, that has no dialogue, which is kind of surprising. And it was, you really got to pay attention.
Yeah, wasn't there one thing with Susan, was it the Susan, or it might have been another episode, where, the doctor picked up something, but we totally didn't see it on camera, or, I don't know. You can cut that out. Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I'm sure it's...
I did feel that there were some scenes cut out of this, or at least the copy I was watching on YouTube, because it really was okay, wait, he's being chased by the Vikings, and then the very next scene, he's just walking out of the woods at the monastery. It's we didn't at least on the copy I saw, he didn't get away from anybody. He's just away.
Yeah.
And there was another moment like that too, where it was where are we? What happened? It felt just something had been cut out.
And we don't have any, none of the ad. Well, did BBC have ad breaks? Would they have ad? No, just straight through. Okay, no.
Yeah.
Never mind.
There's one comedic moment visually was funny to me, was when Stephen and Vicki get captured by the Saxons, and then Eldred, the kind of John you mentioned in your episode, he was the Charles Manson looking guy.
Oh my god. I was going to try and listen to our episode before, but
I
didn't get around to it. Yes, Charlie Manson looking guy.
So Eldred, he's like, these guys are traitors, they're Viking spies, I want to kill them. And then Edith's husband is Woolnoth. I don't know how to...
I think it's Woolnoth, yeah.
Woolnoth?
Yeah. It sounds good.
Yeah, he's the more level-headed guy. He's like, calm down. He goes, Eldred goes to them and he wants to kill them. I do not trust you. And Woolnoth goes, I believe they are what they say, travelers. And Vicky's like, all right, let us go. Do whatever you want. Just make up your minds.
Yes.
And then Woolnoth goes, he does this, he thinks about it. The actor is taking the moment to think. And he's like, okay, you can go. What's going on here? And then he goes, take the girl inside and get her some food for the journey. And then Stephen, he throws the stick.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Eldred's face, and he's just like, that was my favorite stick. How dare you dishonor it? It was just odd reaction shots. I was just laughing.
Yeah, episode 2, if while I was watching, I'm like, Hartnell's not even in this episode.
He's not.
He's
not.
He's not in it at all.
Because he was on holiday.
Is
that
he
mean
in
that
that
a
at
lot of
all?
holidays.
Well, he's also old.
No, I don't.
How old he's age at this point?
Well, for Ben.
No, he is.
But yeah, he's not in episode 2 at all. And when you guys dive into more classic Who, you'll be like, where's the doctor in this episode? In this 6-episode serial? Where is he?
Yeah.
But
my favorite, though, sorry to interrupt, but my favorite is Jamie. I can't remember what the serial is, but he got chicken pox. And so they wrote into the story that they changed Jamie's face.
Oh,
and
that's one of my favorite. Oh,
he played and then they got a different actor
yes,
to play Jamie until Jamie got over the chicken pox, and then they did the face thing again, and Jamie was back, the original actor. It's just, I loved that.
That was the mind robber.
Mind Robber?
Absolutely love the mind robber.
Wasn't it a puzzle piece type of a thing? He put
his face back together wrong.
It's like, you could never do something like that today, but boy, it was fun.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, that was amazing. The line that you were talking about, Eugene, is I do not trust you, and Steven says, well, I'm not mad about you either.
It's
And-
just it's
yeah.
funny, and then on top of that weird dialogue, it's just you see those weird reactions, especially from Woolnoth and Eldred.
Yeah. A lot of great stuff in episode 2 from Vicky and from Steven, especially when they go to confront the monk, and it feels like a bit of a mind game. And it's interesting to see Steven, who's new, that's like, oh, okay. He's just like taking it as matter of fact, but Vicky's like, I don't know. I think he is more clever than we think he is.
Yeah.
And Steven's like, no, I don't know about that. He's like, I've been around the block. I know about this stuff. But yeah, episode 2 is great as well. Oh, and then we find out that, when we think we find the doctor, Hartnell is still on vacation.
Yep. Well, okay, so the first episode, the cliffhanger is that the doctor is captured and he's behind those like makeshift wooden
Yes.
jail bars.
Yeah.
And his scowl to the monk is just like classic Hartnell to me. And then the second episode, like you mentioned, it's like, where did the doctor find all that hay to put it in to make it
Right.
look like Ferris Bueller, type of thing going on?
Hey, I thought it was furs.
Is it? I couldn't tell. It's just like, where did he find that whatever material?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know. Like the dungeon, prison cell was laden with comfort.
Well, I can imagine what those furs were filled with in being in a dungeon. It's like, because that's what I was thinking. It's like you're digging
True.
around in those furs. Oh God, they must be
Yeah.
filthy.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, that's gross.
They weren't like from a store.
No.
Still searching the monastery, they discover that inside a sarcophagus is a Tardis console room. The monk has been interfering with history for fun and profit. He and the doctor discuss the workings of the Tardis and that they are both from the same place. The monk protests that he wants to make things better, but the doctor says he wants to destroy world history. The monk runs out of the Tardis. Coming to believe that the monk is a Viking spy, the Saxon tribe chases him through the woods. Back at the monastery, the doctor leaves a note for the monk on his Tardis, and the three head back to the doctor's. Later, the monk returns to his Tardis and reads the note. The doctor has shrunken the console room so the monk cannot get inside. He is marooned in 1066. Dun dun dun. The monk will return in the Dalek's master plan. So that's the second time we're going to see him.
He comes back. I didn't know that.
He
Yeah.
does come back. I mean, the only thing about that is that is the, I think, still to date, the longest story. It's 12
Oh my God.
episodes, and I think it's mostly lost.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh.
it's kind of like you have to wait for somebody to animate it, or you
Ugh.
can watch the telesnaps if you love
That-
telesnaps.
I really
That's
thought that was
rough.
War Games.
War Games is
10.
10?
10, yeah.
War
And
Games
it-
is great too. I love War Games.
Yeah, but it feels 10 episodes.
Yes. It absolutely
And
does.
I'd have to say the last episode feels like its own little story.
Yeah.
So I had something to say, but I don't remember. Oh, now I remember. Didn't you love the reveal of another TARDIS?
That was
Great
great.
reveal. Great reveal.
That was great. Because you
That-
don't think about it being like underneath. You're so used to it being a doorway in a box. So now it's like, why are they ducking behind this stone thing? Oh my God, it's a TARDIS. It's camouflage. It's like all of a sudden everything clicks in your head.
Yeah, it's funny how it really I like how they talked about the TARDIS's camouflage earlier in the run. But this reveal really makes you realize, wow, that TARDIS really is, that's broken. That thing
Yeah.
is broken.
Yeah.
Like she talks about we never know where we're going. That it's that it's the
Stuck.
doctor it's stuck in that as a police box.
And I mean, that's why he comments that this TARDIS is working, so it must be newer than mine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to be the cliffhanger of the third episode, I mean, I don't know why the fourth episode didn't have a bigger like ratings or viewership.
Yeah,
Cliffhanger.
that's a big reveal. Like that
Yeah.
is a huge reveal that this dude is a Time Lord. Like it's pretty epic reveal for for this show early on. And as you go on in your journey in Classic Who, you'll find out that everyone's TARDIS works better than the Doctor's.
I am glad that as they went along, they downplayed the I don't have control over where we're going. I mean, it was a trope for kid shows kind of a thing. Especially when I was growing up, everybody was lost and trying to get home. But I don't know. I kind of like sometimes we're surprised where we are, but the Doctor can send it where he usually wants it to go. He'll just be off by a couple months or a year with Rose, but it's not a completely random thing.
Well, I like how developed like some of the time travel, ideas are here, where what you do like instantly affects the future, and then even the Doctor, talking about golden rules of time travel. So it helps like set up that bigger world and know like that there, are lines that we can't cross. Now, today's Doctor, I think, has crossed many of those lines. Like here, we can't affect any historical events.
Yeah, never interfere with the course of history is what he says.
Yeah, or now we have
and that's
that we just can't mess with those.
Yeah, and that feels like
that's a Time Lord rule too. The Time Lords felt that way all up until the moment they died. So it was always like there always was a Time Lord Prime Directive.
Yeah, it very much feels like that Prime Directive from even Star Trek.
One interesting thing we haven't talked about is he has already altered history, and like permanently. Because he does say, you really think the humans could have dragged the stones of Stonehenge without the anti-gravity device? It's like, okay, he has already changed the things and the Doctor doesn't even react. Okay, all right, well, it's early days of the show.
Oh, thank you. That reminded me, because somebody was saying this, where they are affecting history, and I like that Steven is still sort of new to Team TARDIS. So he's like, well, then the history books will have to be rewritten. And then Vicky's like, no, they'll just appear rewritten. There's no, because that's history.
That's funny. Didn't even think of that.
See, I think that's also why I wanted to do this episode, because we just wrapped up Clara's run with the show. And when you have a new Doctor, sometimes you get a new companion. But in this case, we got a new Doctor to an existing companion. So there was none of this explaining like we're doing with Steven, where like this is a time machine. TARDIS stands for time and relative dimensions. They say dimensions in space. And then they're talking about how time travel works. So I think that's what I was missing from most of Clara's run, because there's no new like there's not a third or second companion like Rory became.
Yeah.
To kind of explain things to. It's like, yes, I know we know what this does, but it's also a good reset for people coming in new, and it's also good to reinforce what we already know. So I kind of I like what Steven does here.
Clara was no longer a proxy for the audience.
What is it?
She was a proxy for the Doctor because she was better. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm not bitter.
What episode was this in this season's run?
It was the last episode of season 2.
Oh, okay.
Another anachronistic thing is that Vicki and Steven stumble when they're on that cliff. They stumble across the German Panzerschreck, the bazooka.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, did somebody at the BBC recently do a World War II drama? Because it's like right there.
No, that launched the neutron bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they're holding
he's
up
just like fumbling it around, like, oh, this is a neutron bomb, just like handling it like it's nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, come on. Oh, and when the Doctor is talking to the monk about like you can't go around changing history, and then there's a knock at the door, and then he gets the Doctor's like, I'll just answer it, and the monk goes, no, you have to be in disguise, you have to like keep the ruse up, and
you
then
need a cloak.
Yeah, that's right. I would bring back to the cloak. He's like, I'm gonna get a cloak, and I think the Doctor is like, okay, I'm gonna get the cloak, I'll resign to being disguised, but remember, no more monkery.
No more bunkery.
I was like, wow, that's funny.
Yeah, there's a good balance of humor. Like it is a pretty good program. Like this series. What do you call
Serial.
Yeah, this serial has a lot of funny stuff. I think even is it towards the end, the Doctor even comments about television. Like, do you guys remember that?
Oh,
like,
because the monk's like, Shakespeare will be able to broadcast on television.
Hamlet.
And he's like, oh, yes, I am familiar with the medium.
Yes, yeah, like a lot of
Yeah.
like fun stuff like that that reads to me very, kind of modern sensibility, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun to see here.
Also, the thing that I find like really funny is the Doctor gets trapped in the beginning. He gets trapped and he gets put in the cell, and then he finds a way out, and then he's like, "Well, I'll answer the door as the monk," and then he gets captured, put back in the cell, and then just leaves again. That feels very like old-timey comedy where it's just like, "Oh, back you go," and then they just come out somewhere else. Funny to me.
So, speaking of the comedy, I'm glad you guys brought that up because this is the first time that a Doctor Who story starts to inject comedy on purpose. Because Dennis Spooner, I think he's the writer. He had done comedy and wanted to inject it and combining the genres, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, there's some really good bits in Classic Who that hold up pretty well.
Yeah, I've been watching the episode as we've been talking silently, and just looking at everyone's energy bouncing off each other, the way they're talking to each other and looking at each other. Again, it's real natural.
Yeah.
It really feels like, especially the monk. I wouldn't have thought it, but like just watching him silently, like he just seems like a person doing what he's doing. There's no staginess to a lot of it.
Yeah. And that it's a special effects shot, special effects for that day when the monk is in the opening of the TARDIS console room. And I think they were able to achieve that because of black and white film. So today that wouldn't look as good. But
I'm sorry, which shot with at the very end?
yeah, where the TARDIS console is smaller and his head is taking up all of the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black and white, low quality television hides a lot of the flaws, and it really,
Yeah.
even the costumes and the wigs. I mean, they're obviously bad wigs, but you really
Yeah.
don't. The worst thing about the Viking outfits is the clunkiness of the things, but they don't look like too clean or it all looks correct.
Mm-hmm.
Television was great for that. I've been rewatching The Next Generation on Paramount Plus on a big TV. I mean, not
Me
a
too.
big TV, but just
But bigger than we had in
Bigger.
'87.
and
Yeah.
no scan lines. It's like, oh, there's a lot of duct tape and
Yeah.
Turbo.
Look
Turbo
at that
Lip
makeup.
looks pretty banged up back there. Like, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
curious, what season were you in? Just
I'm in 3. I just watched The Offspring.
Ooh, that's when it
With
starts
Love.
getting good.
Yeah.
Brian,
it's
where,
good.
where was I? Season 5 or something? That's where I started again.
Yeah, I think it was season 5.
The one with all the family episodes.
Oh, that's season 7. That's the last season.
Oh, 7. Okay.
Yeah, where it's like
Oh,
you're
no.
related to me and who and how and why.
Maybe it's 6. Maybe it's season 6 then, because it's not the last season. I checked that. Anyway,
Mhm.
neither here nor there.
I'll
But
check.
yeah, like, and especially on YouTube, it really washes out any
Mm.
of the wires or anything that was holding anything.
Well, you should watch Star Trek remastered today because Leonard Nimoy looks really bad because of his green makeup and
Hmm.
he drank a lot of coffee because there's a lot of coffee stains on his uniform
Oh man.
and his ears just kind of like,
Oh,
all right,
yeah.
don't
I
don't
do
close
like all
up.
the lighting in the original series. Like they really knew how to throw up some stark purple and green lights.
Well, that's what you would have in your sick bay. You have to have purple thrown up on the walls. You don't know, man.
That's for the people who come in that are injured from purple nurples.
Exactly.
That in universe, I think that's a disinfecting UV light.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely.
There you go.
They moved past the Enterprise disinfectant gel.
Ugh, terrible, terrible.
Back to our show. So did the Doctor take anything from his TARDIS to fix the Doctor's TARDIS, or just
You would think,
there.
because that's what I thought. But
Yeah.
instead, he just took the circuit and he threw it away somewhere instead of
Okay.
like making it work for.
But no.
but-
That's not
but-
what happened.
But it's
His-
not the same. It's not a chameleon circuit. It's a dimensional circuit. So it's
And-
not the same thing.
There's 50 years apart. So, the Doctor's is USB and the Monk's is USB-C. They don't connect. So you can't do it.
And I think just if we go further into the Doctor, that would mean he would have to admit that his TARDIS was broken
Mm-hmm.
by
It's-
fixing it. He'd
It's
be
just
like,
the way he wants it to be.
yeah.
Yeah, I see.
There's another really good comedic beat in episode 4 when he is taking the dimensional control with just tying like a little rope.
Pull.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
sorry. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Now, well, right before he pulls it, he's like warning Vicky and Steven. He's like,
yes.
don't get you, it might shock your nose, and she goes like this and covers her nose for like almost that entire scene. It's funny.
You can see like in previous episodes where she breaks a couple of times, where she kind of smiles. So it's like everyone's having a little bit of fun. But he says you need to stop asking questions and go outside. And he gets very like direct with Vicky, and she leaves. And Steven turns around and goes, haha, yeah. And he's like, get out of here. Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
I thought that was very funny.
It like the whole it's sort of like, you know, Mad Men in a way. We've talked about this before though, the use of misogyny to point out how bad misogyny is,
Yes.
while at the same time making light of it, that they're, you know, it's and especially in that first season. But it's interesting, you know, this being the 60s, on the cusp of women's rights and things like that. So even at this point, they're not necessarily aware of the irony of like, yes, you said this is bad, but this is bad too, that you don't even realize.
Yeah, but this was progressive too. I mean,
Yes,
this
I
was,
know.
You know, it's like, well, I keep bringing it up. It is like Star Trek. It's like, you know, you look at it today and you just kind of hide your eyes. But back in the day, it's like, what do they think they're doing? I don't want politics in my Star Trek.
The ending of this episode over the credits is the first time that we have the Doctor's face superimposed on something that is not the actual episode.
Really?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
don't know if they did that further, at least to my recollection. I don't remember, but I actually really enjoyed that. I thought that was a cool little effect they did over the over the credits. I thought that was really cool. The whole Team Tardis, I thought that was great.
Yeah, I thought that was an effective use of what technology they had available at the time.
Yes.
I bring that up to say that we normally get the Doctor's full face in the opening credits, and that's why I mentioned this is the first time we see the Doctor's face in the non-episode, meaning the opening or closing credits.
The note that he put on the sarcophagus says, "To the monk." Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like that they, you know, if he was like what we would later go to call a Time Lord, like they didn't name him, right? Like, so at the end he is still just the monk, like the doctor, the master. So that's kind of cool.
They have a thing about their names.
The monkster.
Well, this is the Time Meddler is available on DVD and streaming. On the DVD, there is a bonus feature of DVD commentary.
Oh, really?
Which has Verity Lambert as the producer. As I mentioned, this was her last story she produced before leaving the show. She mentions that in the recording. Peter Purvis, who plays Steven, the story editor, Daniel Tosh, and designer Barry Newberry.
Really?
Yes. So,
wow.
This is where I learned about the budget and what they were doing as far as restrictiveness that they had. Verity said she only had 2,000 pounds a show to work with.
Oh my God.
So that's why
more, but still.
That's why they were on set. They had to utilize the full set. They rarely went outside. And I think it's Barry Newberry that was saying, like, he's the designer of certain things, and he goes, I like this story, these episodes, because they utilize what I did with the trees and the hut, the
rocks and up and down on the rocks.
Yeah.
The stagecraft is excellent.
Because then he complained about what he doesn't like when he spends all this time, and they go in for a super close-up where it's just the actors' faces. He's like, you can't see my set. Also, Vicky and Steven came back to kind of revisit the Time Meddler in Tales of the Tardis. So if you haven't seen that, those are like anniversary shorts that they showed before showing classic episodes. And theirs was really
before
good.
The 60th.
And they are inside the memory TARDIS. And it was nice that both actors are still alive and still like revisiting this thing.
It was funny because I didn't know who Vicky. I mean, I knew Vicky and Steven's name, and so it was like, I wonder what these two look like young.
So while they're in that memory TARDIS, Vicky sees the doctor's pocket watch hanging from one of the apparatuses in the console room, and then Steven at one point goes over to the coat rack and he sees the doctor's sixth coat, and he goes, "This isn't the TARDIS. The doctor would never wear something like this." Oh, and what's funny is that in the course of those little shorts, Vicky finds the dimensional control that the doctor took from the monk's TARDIS in
No
the
way.
memory TARDIS.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that what in this last season, which you got why they were in a memory TARDIS to save them when the whole rest of the universe was destroyed?
Yes.
Okay.
So I say it like that because I have a real big issue with how the BBC is releasing content to the rest of the world. Like those the memory TARDIS things, those are great, but how can you watch those?
It was a pain.
YouTube was the closest.
Oh, is it like an official release though?
Probably
Or was
not.
Yeah, so that's the thing that bugs me about it is you can literally only get those on BBC iPlayer. They released a bunch of them, and then
Yeah.
it shows up in the last season of Doctor Who, and I'm sure a bunch of people were like, I don't know what this is. What is this a reference to?
Right.
Yeah,
Anyway, we should all be able to watch everything that's on Whoniverse on BBC iPlayer. BBC, figure it out so I don't have to buy a VPN and watch it otherwise.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was just like, "What? All right, whatever."
Yeah.
Well, like it's kind of like I didn't want to spend the energy to replay. I think I might have rewound it on that episode to say, but
It's
that's
a
what
cool
it is.
set
Yeah.
piece.
Yes.
It's a very cool set piece, and I'm sure it would have you would have gotten the quote unquote feels if you had been able to see any
Right.
of this other stuff that only you can watch on BBC iPlayer.
yeah, I think sometimes when the show uses stuff from the past that may be unfamiliar to viewers, I think they rely a little too heavily on the fan service, where like, oh, everyone will know what
Mhm.
this is, or like,
Yeah.
and which if you know it, that's a big deal, but if you don't, you need a little more explanation to
Yeah.
think it because it really just felt like I remember I was talking to someone about it that week, and it just felt like they came up with like a half-assed idea
Yeah.
to explain why they can still be alive.
Right.
And I was like,
Right.
all right, whatever. And I just
I mean,
kinda
I guess
kept
that's
watching.
what makes me a diehard is that I sought it out in non-conventional means. And then
Sure.
like John said, I had all the feels when it happened.
Yeah, I mean, I did too because I knew about it, but it's just frustrating because
Yeah.
like boy, how much time do we have? It's
We
just
have a-
frustrating.
Well,
We
is
have a
that a
time machine.
BBC? Is that a BBC thing, or is that like an American thing in the way that BBC works with America, or America works with BBC?
I don't. I
think
couldn't
it's
tell
all
you.
of the above.
Yeah, it's probably all the above. It's just frustrating, especially like I have friends who have never watched Doctor Who until it was on Disney Plus. And so they're like
Sure.
new fans, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, they really enjoy this, and it's like, well, what if I told you there's 60 plus years of stuff? And they're like, where can I watch it? And I'm like, I don't know, just throw a dart at a board and you'll find something. It's just
Well, you got a BritBox over here. You've got Max over here. You've
Tubi.
got Tubi.
I don't
And you-
know if you want to include this, Eugene, in the show, but like this Doctor Who classic YouTube channel seems to have a lot.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I so love it.
Like
There's
I just
also,
started
like-
perusing it, and I'm like, oh my god! There's like
Pluto
every
also
shit ton.
has one too now.
They even have these animated ones.
Yeah.
I love this channel.
Do we know if that's an official channel?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
So that's-
wow! Because I was
that's nice.
I thought to myself, this ain't gonna be up for too long, but I guess it will.
Oh, they got my letters. Great.
I'm going to go through the cast real quick. We have William Hartnell playing the first Doctor, Maureen O'Brien playing Vicky. She continues to play Vicky in audio dramas and other Whoniverse things. This is her first credited role is in Doctor Who, not this, but in Doctor Who in general, and I think it was in The Powerful Enemy. Stephen is played by Peter Purvis. In 1967, he became a presenter of the children's program Blue Peter, where he was there for 11 years and then continued to make regular appearances, I think, after he left. And so Blue Peter has a big connection to Doctor Who, so he stayed connected that way, and also continues to play Stephen in audio dramas till this day. Peter Butterworth plays the monk. He was the Roman sentry in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Oh, all right.
I was waiting. I was so ready when we were going to do this episode. Like, to say, oh, I liked Chief Inspector Dreyfus as the monk.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at he's got a lot of credits, but I that was the only one I kind of recognized.
He's
So
probably a theater actor. Right? He was very good.
yeah, he does a
He
lot.
also reminded
ahead.
me of Barry Corbin
Mhm.
from, ironically, War Games, not what we mentioned earlier.
Was that the
Yeah.
general in War Games?
Yeah, and he was in Northern Exposure.
Yes. Wasn't it Mr. Kittredge? Your system sucks.
Althea Carlton plays Edith. Previously was in Doctor Who and played her in An Unearthly Child. After the pilot episode, they go to caveman times, and so she was in that prehistoric part of that story.
Oh.
She's like
So they gave her a more
typecast.
modern woman.
Right,
Yes,
right.
exactly. 1,000 years. 2,000 years? Never mind. Peter Russell plays Eldred. I didn't really see anything else he's done, mostly in the UK.
Which one's Eldred? He's the
Manson lookalike.
he's the
Manson,
one with
Charlie
the
Manson.
wide eyes.
Michael Miller plays Woolnoth, the husband to Edith. He was Major General Sir Colin Campbell in the charge of the Light Brigade and has a lot of UK credits. Michael Guest plays the Saxon Hunter. Norman Hartley plays Ulf. He comes back as Sergeant Peters in the invasion with the Second Doctor and the Cybermen. Geoffrey Cheshire plays the Viking leader. He also comes back as Garge in The Devil's Planet with the First Doctor and the Daleks, and also the invasion with the Second Doctor. David Anderson played Sven. He was in previous episodes. He was a caravan warrior and a palace guard in the Marco Polo story, an Aztec captain in The Aztecs. I think both of these are with the First Doctor.
And they're both lost, I think.
Are they? I
Marco
thought
Polo is completely.
Okay, but I thought
Aztec
Aztecs
Sex is still.
exists.
Oh,
Right?
Aztecs, you're right. Yes,
Yeah.
Aztecs.
But Marco Polo, yes, you're correct. And then he played Rainier de Marun in The Crusade and an Egyptian warrior in the Daleks Master Plan, which is also lost. And then Ronald Rich played Gunnar, the giant. So that's
Giant
yeah.
in this? Wait, what giant?
It's just probably one of the bigger invading Vikings. He was uncredited, but they listed him in when I looked it up.
He was 6'8".
4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Wow. 4 or 5 of the Vikings land,
The,
but we
So
only
I'm-
really focus on 2.
there's this part later on when they're fighting the Vikings, when the monk actually kind of like ditches them. And I was a little drowsy. And there's this bit where he tells him, "Go run over there," and he kind of makes like he's gonna run, and then he runs this way, and then the Vikings come back and go, "Where did he go?" And then they get captured. And like I'm like, wait, I must have rewound that part 5 times because I kept like getting drowsy, and it was just like, wait, what just happened? Did he just say, "Look that way"? And then like, what's that over there?
Oh, Ronald Rich also played Hans in You Only Live Twice.
Oh,
Oh.
nice.
Blofeld's bodyguard.
Bodyguard, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this. Like I said, like seeing it felt like we were really dropped in classic Who.
Yeah.
So I don't want to really leave anything on the table since we got you here.
No, I mean, I think this is. I feel like Eugene mentioned how he picked the story, but I think he picked a really solid First Doctor serial to dive into. And yeah, I know sometimes when you're watching Classic Who, you're just like, I looked at my watch that is on my wrist, unlike the meddling monk.
The correct wrist.
It's like, oh, geez, it would take forever. What are we doing here? The pacing is usually but I felt like they did a really good job with this one, just in my opinion. So I think you guys picked a really great one. I will again highly suggest watching The Chase. I won't give you much on that, but these are 2 really good back-to-back stories, and they also I think they put Vicki in that upper echelon of companion, at least in my opinion, both in The Chase and in the Time Meddler. I think she's super underappreciated overall.
The Chase, for people listening, to reiterate, is takes place right before this.
Yes, it's literally right before it, and it's a pretty nutso story. But it's and I'm reading about it, and I completely forgot about another thing that happens in the chase. You guys, you need to watch this. It's pretty crazy.
Well, anything else, John, on the Time Meddler?
It's revisiting it. It's just a solid story. It's probably one of my favorites. I guess the only thing that I'm bummed about is we don't get more of the monk in general. I mean, I don't know how much of the what is it called again? The 12-parter.
The Dalek Master Plan.
I don't know how much he's in it. I know he is in it, but it's all. I'm pretty sure every episode is non-existent. So until somebody decides to animate it, we won't get any more of. I'm just sad that his actual performance is lost in that because he's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Time Meddler, solid choice. Happy to have been able to revisit it and talk about it with you guys.
Actually, I enjoy this a lot more than, even though I found it very interesting, the introduction of this first doctor, obviously. This just felt like we were more in it. I know I'm repeating myself a little bit, but like he seemed like he was really in the character, he was having fun. And just commenting on the way that we were watching Classic Who through the podcast, like I think unless you're like a diehard fan, to me, like this is the way to watch it. Watch it in pieces, get hooked and curious, and then go in and watch the other stuff. Because I feel like if I watch from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, it would be a slog. So I kind of feel like this is a nice way to kind of like, watch the highlights. It makes you curious for the other stuff. Cool. But I really dug it. I think I'm gonna kind of keep it on in the background while I'm doing other things more often to like just learn it more.
Like John was saying, it's a solid episode. It really is. I probably don't like it as much as you guys. Hartnell, the first Doctor, isn't a Doctor that I basically like. I mean, I'll give him credit for setting the show going, but I don't know, his episodes. I really liked Vicki, and the monk was awesome. It's like, why don't you bring the monk back instead of the Time Meddler? Bring or Sutesh. It's like, really, bring this guy back. Why didn't you bring this guy back? So
I hope it's coming.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
Yeah,
I heard a lot of discussion when the Time Meddler was coming back of a lot of Doctor Who fans going, let's discuss the people who should come back.
Yeah.
So, but I liked it. He's no second Doctor, but he's the first.
Yeah, my experience of Classic being limited to what we've discussed on the podcast, this was a very solid serial. Yeah, William Hartnell felt good in it. The companions felt really good. The villain was good. And even though, it might have been a low budget serial in the season, it didn't feel too bad, like from a modern viewing. But the story was good and the characters were good. And that's really all that we ever asked for. We can forgive shaky sets as long as the characters believe in what they're saying and doing.
Yeah, I agree. When we wrap up a season, we kind of want to take a break and do a Classic Who episode. And I just kept thinking, like, the Doctor's losing Clara. This first Doctor is dealing with the loss of Susan, and then gets a new companion. And then it's a little subtle or a little small, but the Viking connection with the Shielder in this past season, and kind of the Norse-ish type of thing with that. And then the big one for me was that Gallifrey was found at the end of this season 9. So this is the first time in the show's run that we get another Gallifreyan. Even though the monk is not named a Gallifreyan, this is the first instance that the Doctor sees somebody from his home planet. So those are the kind of things thematically that I wanted to kind of bring us through. And I think, I don't know, the Time Meddler, I watched it way back when, before the podcast was even an idea. And there was just something about that monk that I really enjoyed. And I'm glad that most of us enjoyed the monk. And John, I'm going to spring something else on you. Can you do your best William Hartnell First Doctor impersonation?
Did I do it on the podcast?
No, I just wanna hear if you got one.
I've been kind of doing it, and it's just basically like, oh yes, yes, all right, that's great, yes, yes, it's just a lot of that.
Because that was gonna be my thing. Because his Geronimo, his Fantastic, his Molta Bene, his yes,
yes, oh, that makes a lot of sense, yes, so stuff like that, yeah.
Yes, totally.
Love it.
So cool. Thanks, John, for joining us. That wraps up the Time Meddler. So thanks for listening. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time when the future becomes the present.
You just listened to an episode of Who Knew?
Our wonderful theme music is by Michael Grady.
Find him on Facebook at The Universe Explodes.
Additional music is by Damiel Paggio.
Additional music by Paul Ohlers.
All our episodes are engineered by Auburn, and you can find him at auburnbinkley.com.
You can also find this show in several places.
Follow us on Twitter at Who Knew Podcast.
Subscribe, review, and listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Who Knew Podcast.
All our episodes are on whoknewpodcast.com.
Visit our Facebook page.
Please leave comments, reviews, and click like to support Who Knew Podcast.
To listen to our show on your Amazon Echo device, subscribe to us on Amazon Music.
And then ask your Amazon device to play your podcast subscriptions.
This podcast is inspired by Doctor Who,
the longest running sci-fi show in history.
And especially the revival spearheaded by Russell T. Davis.
Thanks to Russell, Sidney Newman,
Verity Lambert, Ron Grainer,
and all those involved in the adventures of our favorite Time Lord.
Your work continues to inspire and entertain.
Can the administrator do something so I can send a picture in the chat?
Oh, Albert.
Inappropriate.